The dust has just settled on stage 21 of the 2020 Giro d'Italia, with Tao Geoghegan Hart rounding off the 103rd Giro with the coveted Maglia Rosa. So with this wonderful race win sealed, let's find out a little bit more about our new champion. Born on the 30th of March 1995 in Holloway, North London, Tao Geoghegan Hart was born into a working class family living in Stoke Newington in central London. Growing up in the 2000s in the UK, cycling was not a prevalent sport yet. Instead, Tao took to swimming as a youngster, even participating in a relay team that swam from England to France, as well as playing football in Hackney Marshes as a kid. Regardless, Tao is well and truly a product of the Team Sky era, eventually discovering cycling by watching the likes of Mark Cavendish and Bradley Wiggins rise to prominence in the 2000s. As an avid young cycling fan, he recalls going to the Tour de France's Grand Départ in London back in 2007 as a 12-year-old, as well as Team Sky's launch in 2010, the same year that saw Tao take to road racing for the first time. Geoghegan Hart rode for Cycling Club Hackney as a young amateur, alongside former Team Sky stagiaire Alex Peters, who both had the aim of making it onto the lineup of Grand Tour titans Team Sky. After rising through the ranks in the UK, even representing them at the Junior World Championships in 2012 and 13, Tao was offered a spot in the Great British Senior Academy, streamlining him into a position as a track and road rider. Instead, Tao opted to go overseas and join Axel Merckx's Action Development Team in 2014. There he would compete at races such as the Tour of California at just 19 years of age, an enormous feat for any upcoming talent. After setting the junior ranks alight, Tao was picked up by Team Sky in 2015 as a stagiaire, signing for the team fully in 2017, a dream come true for the plucky climber. After a couple of years of steady development in this team, Tao started his first Grand Tour back in 2018, however he could not contend for GC at this race. Nevertheless, it was a learning experience for Grand Tours to come. 2019 would be the year that Tao finally made international headlines. He managed to steal 2 stage victories and the second place overall at the 2019 Tour of the Alps, only losing to his Russian teammate Pavel Sivakov. After this performance, Tao became Team Ineos's assumed leader at the Giro d'Italia. He opened that Giro in fine fashion with a 7th place on a testy prologue. However, Tao was unfortunately forced to abandon the race after fracturing his clavicle on stage 13. Tao bounced back though, getting a 5th place overall at the Tour de Polonia before riding to a 20th place in GC at La Vuelta a España. 2020 brought new horizons for the man from Hackney, kicking off the start of the season in style at the Volta a la Comunidad Valenciana with a 3rd place overall. The break in the season allowed Tao to focus on the Grand Tours to come later this year, returning to racing with the Ineos Tour de France leaders at the Route d'Occitanie and the Tour de l'Ain. After being left out of the Tour de France squad, Tao landed a place in the Giro lineup in support of former Tour de France champion Geraint Thomas. The 2020 Giro did not go to plan initially for Team Ineos, losing their presumed leader Geraint Thomas after a nasty crash on stage 3 to Mount Etna. The chaos of that stage caused Tao Geoghegan Hart to shed 2 minutes to Wilco Kelderman and 1 minute to Jai Hindley on the slopes of Mount Etna. Tao returned in the coming days, regaining confidence and assuming the position of team leader. He made his next move at Roccaraso, rolling in for a 6th place on the stage, firmly moving him into the top 20 overall. Tao's day would come soon though, riding his way into top 10 by being part of Sunweb's race-defining move on stage 15 at Piancavallo. He followed the wheels of the Sunweb duo Hindley and Kelderman before striking out for glory, claiming his first Grand Tour stage win at the top of this iconic Italian climb. Ineos were back in business at the Giro d'Italia, but Tao still sat 2 minutes and 57 seconds behind the Maglia Rosa Joao Almeida. Tao would have to wait for the Queen stage of the Giro d'Italia to gain more time, riding away with white jersey wearer Jai Hindley on the slopes of the Passo della Stelvio, the highest point of this year's Giro. In the process, the Brit jumped up to 3rd overall, breathing down the necks of Hindley and Kelderman in GC. Stage 20 would see Tao round out a fabulous climbing campaign by claiming his 2nd stage win of the Giro d'Italia by outsprinting Jai Hindley at the top of the Sestriere climb. After a tantalizing wait for the GC times, Tao was classified at the same overall time as the new Maglia Rosa Jai Hindley, coming into the Giro's final day time trial in Milan. On the build-up to the time trial, many people were backing the hopes of Geoghegan Hart. However, the tension could be felt from Hackney all the way to Hindley's home nation of Australia. But the Maglia Rosa could not keep up with Tao Geoghegan Hart's monstrous effort on the day. Tao would go on to make 39 seconds on Hindley over the course of the 16-kilometer long time trial into Milan, cementing his name on the iconic Trofeo Senza Fine and rightfully claiming the pink jersey or Maglia Rosa. Let's not forget that Tao has also secured the white jersey on top of this, mirroring the performance of Tadej Pogacar earlier this year at the Tour de France. All we have left to do is congratulate this young Londoner on his phenomenal achievement in winning the 2020 Giro d'Italia. We will have more Giro d'Italia content coming out in the next week on the Cycling Day channel, as well as updates from La Volta España, so don't miss out on any of that. However, that's all from today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you around.